Welcome to bLU Talks. Awesome. So I guess we're ready. So just like the last time, another sort of podcast video interview. And just to let you guys know, we have one more speaker, and then I'm going to be talking about how to land your TEDx talk, just kind of a foreshadowing. But Lissa, so excited to have you here with me. And as you've seen when I was talking to Shelby, my approach usually is to get the guests to tell us about themselves rather than me reading a bio that I'm going to say something wrong on. So can you tell us just a little quickly about yourself, and then we'll jump right in.
Yeah, for sure. So like Shelby, I'm a recovering HR professional. And I'm also now working with business owners to create sellable businesses. So the reason that I dove into that is my parents owned businesses when I was growing up. And when they went to sell them, they were lucky to find buyers. But after 30 some years in business, they broke even. My dad had to go work at the local lumber mill. So that was his retirement. So I'm very passionate about helping business owners do that, and regardless of when they want to sell, because if you create a sellable business, you're finding the freedom so that business will support the life that you're living today.
I love that. And that's quite the transition from HR to helping people sell their businesses. I mean, I can see the connection to some degree because you understand the inner workings and the operational side. And I will say, to your point, that's something that took me a while to clue into, is the idea that it can be a lifestyle business while you're building it to sell. Why shouldn't it also be a business that serves your life then, if that makes sense? So, for example, we're not there yet, but we're so close now to the point where Corey can disappear from the earth for a month and bLU Talks still operate. And we're almost there. Like, I'm not at every event now. I was just saying it's fascinating right now. We have a virtual event happening right now all week with Laura Lake running it. We just did MIT on Friday. We have a book being launched now and another one ready to launch, and we're here today. And I was only involved in one of those things, which is right now. So what I mean, to your point, is it's a lifestyle. I mean, I won't lie, in the back end, there's still a lot, but it's a lifestyle that can be supported by my business. And to your point, on that is, I think, why not build that while we're still running it rather than only to sell it? Some people, I think, build a franchise type business saying, whenever I sell it, I'll have the life I want and I'll make money. But it's just like retirement. Why are you're wait another 10 years, I'll be retired and then I'll start living. But what if you die the day after you retire? So you've lived one day of your life? So to me, why not enjoy the journey? Is that kind of the thought?
That is absolutely the point of it. You want to build a business that supports the life you want to live today. Well, it's also creating the ROI for the life that you want to live when you're no longer running your business. And if bLU Talks is Corey, your business is not sellable. Mm-hmm. Business brokers are turning away 80% of businesses because they're owner dependent, they're not sellable. So my background in HR actually really helps because I can help them build the team and put that team in place for them to have that sellable business and for them to not miss any more of their kids' soccer games.
I love it. And I will say, to that point, and this is me, I'm capable of even saying this because I'm a huge fan, and this could air. I mean, it will. But I often think of that with Tony Robbins. Like, he has like 70 businesses or something that are all not Tony, and you don't even know he owns them. But the one main business that built it all, Anthony Robbins International, my question always is, what happens if Tony walks away tomorrow? Will people still sign up for now Robert that's doing the training? I'm just making that name up, but will they go to a live event if Robert and everybody else is speaking, but Tony's not there? Right. Even now, they still have to do Tony virtual when he's not there live. So because it's under his name, and it always has been, and the same with Jack Canfield, who just retired, right? It's really hard. The Ziegler brand. I mean, Tom Ziegler, I remember when he wasn't sure if the Ziegler brand could continue without Zig. So to your point, when it's built at that way, it's hard. Like, if Tony Robbins is way wiser than me, but if it were me, I would have, he probably didn't know at the time either, but I would have advised him when he was starting to set it up as some different name, some brand name rather than Tony.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that if I'm working with Joe Inc., and Joe's the owner and the whole business is Joe, we're going to talk about, you should probably rebrand. You should probably have a different name for your business. My company is called the Strong Impact Academy. It's not called Lissa Daub Inc. for that reason, because I can build it up and I can create some intellectual property. I can sell that, right? You're not going to sell the rights to your books. Like I want to write books, I want to do talks, so that's my personal brand. But your business brand, same as you, Corey Poirier, the speaker guy, and then bLU Talks. So bLU Talks is going to become this thing that you can absolutely sell, and it can create some ROI for whatever happens to be next.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and I will tell you, when we were first starting bLU Talks, a lot of people were trying to talk me into saying, let's just call it Corey Poirier Speaking, or Corey Poirier Speaks, or something like that, and then have other speakers on the stage, and it made no sense to me.
No sense
at all. I mean, I think, like you said, there is a case for if you're going to be a speaker for the rest of your life, let's say, and like you said, you have a separate brand. There is a case that your name be the entity for the speaking, because you're going to get hired quicker than if this was bLU Talks Speaking with Corey or something. Like, what I mean is, like, if they were hiring me as bLU Talks, also Corey Speaks there. There's definitely value for your books. I'm not gonna call my books, put at the author part, bLU Talks. Whatever
Exactly.
book by bLU Talks. So I think there is a case for individual brand.
Yep.
But to your point, if you're starting something that's going to involve a lot of other people, and it's going to be an actual brand that can operate potentially without you, I think you have to consider what the name of that brand is and the fact that it's its own entity.
Absolutely, and I think that you have to look at that. There's a lot of people in the room here that are speakers and also do other things. And so having that personal brand, that for me, so there will be Lissa Daub Speaking, but then there will also be the Strong Impact Academy. The Strong Impact Academy is something I do. It's not who I am. So Shelby, for example, she has her Shelby Aloria brand for her speaking business that she's building. Plus she has All Set Style, plus she has Black Sheep Co.
Right.
So you look at the brands and you look at what you want to do with them, but you are not your business. It shouldn't be your whole identity. You are the person that owns this business or runs this business, but it's not who you are, because it's only just a small part of the whole makeup of you.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but I often wonder how that affects restaurants that were started with a name, but they have so much equity and clients that they still are sellable and they still sell. But I wonder if that affects the selling price long term. For example, what made me think of in Alberta is Peter's Drive-In.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Peter's still involved, but if he's going to sell it, yes, people will still buy Peter's Drive-In. I remember a time when in Calgary they were trying to pay them more to move because it was holding up traffic. I mean, that's sellable. But at the same time, you just wonder, would it be more sellable, or would it get a little bit more money if it was a different name that they could franchise easier, or just feel like, I'm Jim and now I own Peter's Drive-In. I'm mad that his name is on my company.
I actually think that, for the hospitality industry, it's a little bit different. Because if you think of all of the, oh my gosh, like how many restaurants and chain restaurants do you go to that are based on somebody's name? Like, who's Earl? Right?
Or Tim Hortons.
Or Tim Hortons, right? We know who Tim Horton was. We know that story.
But then he never made anywhere near the money as what Tim Hortons made.
No,
the brand.
No, exactly, right? He didn't make the same amount of money for sure. But I think for the hospitality industry, it's a little bit different, that when it's named after one person. I think more of the fact is when we go in and we do the assessment on the business, how owner dependent is it? Because if that owner can't disappear for a month without the business falling apart, then now it's not a sellable business.
To your point, and I'll move in a different direction, but to your point, there's a lot of examples of that in that business, and I think it's because sometimes it was a celebrity owner like Don Cherry.
Yeah.
Remember the Cherries,
Yep.
Don Cherry Bar? Obviously, Don was in there flipping drinks at every separate location, right? So right from the day he started it, he wasn't going to be in there. Planet Hollywood, even though it wasn't one person's name, it was a bunch of icons from Hollywood, but they weren't in there working the business. So to your point, I think the setup right from day one was different. So it makes sense. So what should we be thinking about when we're starting a business? So if somebody's here early in the business, or even a shift based on the business they already have, what should they be thinking about? Like, should they be thinking about, as Michael E. Gerber says, franchising the business even if they never plan to sell it as a franchise already? Like how to build the systems like that?
Oh yeah, like the E-Myth is a great Bible to follow. I think the first thing you want to think about when you're starting a business, what's your end game? How long are you going to run it for? And what does that look like? Right? If you're because you want to be able to start with the end in mind, right? One of the 7 habits of highly effective people. So begin with the end in mind. So how long are you going to do this for? And it's almost like reverse engineering it. And, you know, there's a lot of clients that I work with that are like, well, I have young kids, maybe my kids want to take over my business. That's great. You still don't want to hand your kids a bunch of bills,
Right.
right? And a bunch of debt. You want to hand them something that's worth something. So building it with the intent of, it's not your baby. It's, you know, it's not your spouse. Like there's so many owners that I know that have this very dysfunctional relationship with their business, and I think they need, you know, relationship counseling.
Further, them and their business needs to go sit in front of a counselor.
Exactly, yeah.
Rosalind talks often about the business has its own personality and its own mind.
It absolutely does.
So bring the business and me and see a counselor.
That's, you know, and that's what I do. I do
You're
therapy.
the counselor.
Yeah, I do.
You're the
I'm the
therapy
counselor between the business and the owner.
I love it. Just in case you didn't catch that, because some of you may not have heard of that book before, the book that Lissa mentioned, The E-Myth. If you haven't heard of it, you already need to check it out yesterday. It's by Michael E. Gerber, and it's the book that came up, it coined or made famous that phrase, stop working in your business and start working on your business. But basically that book is, that really, it is a manual.
It
for
absolutely
how to
is, yeah.
franchise your business when it's not going to be a franchise.
Yeah, and basically what you're doing, and it's what I always tell my clients, is what you want to do, and if you're starting a business, you want to think about it this way. You want to build a business in a box. So if somebody can come up to you and say, I want to buy your business, you don't have to stick around for 3 years to train them on all of your processes. You can just say, yeah, here you go. And if you have that box that you can hand them, guess what? You're off to freedom a lot sooner.
I love it. So Lissa, down to the last two super quick questions. One, I want to ask you, I kind of follow the same pattern as I did earlier. What do you have on the go that you can tell us about? Like what's coming up? What are you working on? What should we know about?
Oh, so many exciting things. So I actually just started a new networking group. Right now it's local to Edmonton. Our first launch event is next Wednesday. It's called Business First Aid, and it's about getting a group of entrepreneurs sitting around together and brainstorming those everyday problems. It's not a mastermind because that's surgery. This is first aid, so it's those quick little hits that we can sit around and just brainstorm some solutions to.
I like that, by the way. That's brilliant what you just said. And I will say, don't hold me to this, but I shared this, I think, with Heidi and Rosalind, I think, recently, but it won't be right away. But Shelley and I are looking at what are we doing in the future? And there's about a 70% chance our plan is to move back to Edmonton. And she lived in Calgary, I lived in Edmonton, but our plan is to come back to Alberta. Thank you. It's still a little bit of time, but the reason I bring that up is because I love the networking that happens here. Shelley's looking for community, and she loves, like, bLU Talks. When she's in Edmonton, she feels like she's part of a community. So when you said that, I think that's so important. The networking that happens here is unparalleled to a lot of other cities that I've lived in.
There's a lot of really cool community-based networking that's starting up in Edmonton right now, and it's actually very exciting to be a part of.
I love it. So parting words of advice.
Parting words of advice. You know, it's really easy to regret the things that have happened in your life, to think back and think, oh, I wish I could have done that differently. And it's one of the things that I've been really reflecting on the last little while. Those are things to be grateful for. So even when you go through hard things, be grateful for that because it's turned you into the person that you are today.
Amazing. Lissa, absolute pleasure. I knew it would be. With your permission, I'll call it a to be continued.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.